So in this osmosis video, this is a experiment that you can do yourselves at home. So here's a quick review of what osmosis is that you can pause as and when you need to. And at any point in the video, you can obviously pause to check what needs to happen. So this is a table of results that you should use as just an example for the data you're going to use. It gives you an idea of what you're going to measure. Ideally, you're going to measure the mass and the length, but you may not have any suitable kitchen scales that are accurate enough at home. So don't worry if you haven't. You can just do it with the mass, the length of each of the potato chips that you're going to make. In your table, I would suggest you watch the entire video first to know which concentrations you're going to use, but also you need space for not only the starting and final mass as we've got there, but also the starting and final length and a change for each, and then we'll work out which is the best percentage change and which is the more accurate figure to use. So if we continue to show you what you need to do, taking a large potato, maybe more than one, 2 or 3, we need to peel all the skin off, as the skin acts as a barrier for any water movement. Rather than what we're doing here in the lab, you might find it easier and be much safer to use an actual potato peeler itself. It's going to be much safer for you to do. We then need to cut slices. Each slice needs to be approximately 1 centimetre, so 10 millimetres in thickness. And then we're going to take care to cut equal sized chips. So that's not only of regular shape, so they're all straight without all the curved edges on them. So trim off the edges, but then also the very, very ends are trimmed off so that they're all regular in shape, making sure the surface area is the same for each. So you can see great care has been taken there to get equal size. So the end result is you've got 3 chips for each of the concentrations that we're going to use. You'll see that they are approximately 5 centimetres, that's 50 millimetres in length. If your potatoes are smaller than that, it's not the end of the world, but the key important point is that they are all of as equal length as possible and equal surface area trimmed neatly. Write this starting length for each potato chip into your table. So you need space for 3 potato chips in your table for each of the concentrations, don't forget. Then we're going to be careful before we actually weigh each of them. We need to take off the excess fluid from where it's been cut and peeled so that doesn't affect the mass. So we're just going to roll it out on a piece of tissue just to dampen it off. Again, taking the mass of each one, do it carefully and accurately and recording that in your table as your starting mass. Now we're going to make the solutions. Now this can be done with either salt or sugar. It doesn't matter which one. The point is we're making a concentration solution. So salt or sugar works fine. Again, using your kitchen scales, using an ordinary mug that you might have in your house, you're going to, don't forget to zero the weighing balance with your mug on it, and then you're going to weigh out your either sugar or your salt. Now the exact mass you need will be shown at the very end of the video for each of the concentrations. The solution we're going to make here is going to be carefully measured to have 10 grams. So this has 2 decimal places, this weighing balance that we've got in the lab. Yours may not, it may only have 1. Or it may even only be to the nearest 5 grams. So here we're using 10 grams, and that's going to be dissolved in an exact 200 millilitres of water, and each solution is going to have 200 millilitres of water. It's just going to have a different quantity of salt or sugar, whichever you're using. So mix the 2 together, dissolve it up nice and neatly. Don't heat it because the heating is going to affect the movement of the molecules. Just allow it to dissolve in the cold water by stirring it, and then label carefully each of your solutions that you've made. So that one was a 5% solution. Then you can now get your 3 chips for the first solution, and again you can do this for all of them once they're all prepared. So 3 chips into each mug, making sure that it's fully submerged. So this is where the length might be too long. And then they must be left overnight, or if you're doing this first thing in the morning, it can be left for the full length of a day and taken out at the end of the day. But they need that long to have the best measurable results. So at the end of that time, either overnight or the end of the day, using any tool that you like, it's nothing dangerous in there, you can remove each of the chips, dry each of them off in the same way as before, and then they can be re-weighed on the balance and remeasured for their length, and put those readings in the table. So we need to re-weigh and remeasure the length and record all that in the table. And you're going to do this for each of these sugar solutions that we can see here in the table. Do them all at the same time. Don't do one at a time. You'll be there forever. So this sheet just shows you what percentage sugar or salt you're going to use, what mass to dissolve into your 200 milliliters of water. Collect all your data, put it all into your table of results. You can calculate the change in mass and change in length, and then your teacher will be able to talk you through the actual graphical part of doing the data interpretation.